Hey guys, welcome to The Reaction, wherein we discuss about the drug and their adverse reactions. In this lecture, let's learn about antihistamines and its adverse reactions. Antihistamine acts on the autocoids, that is, histamine, by competitively inhibiting the effect of histamine at histamine receptor. Mainly, these are indicated against allergies, motion sickness, sleep disorders, and many more. Some of the examples belonging to this class of drugs are divided into two generations. First generation, diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine, clemastine, promethazine, cyclizine. And second generation, cetirizine, levocetirizine, loratadine, fexofenadine. In this episode, let's concentrate on first generation induced adverse reactions such as drowsiness and anticholinergic effects, as they are highly lipophilic and can pass through blood brain barrier. Central histamine H1 receptor is the main site responsible for sedative effects of antihistamines. So, what really happens at H1 receptors? When histamine is released from the presynaptic nerve endings, which binds to H receptors present at the target site or at a post neuronal dendrite, especially at H1, initiates a cascade of signals. As H1 belongs to G protein associated receptor family, which is intracellularly associated with the GQ11 GTP hydrolyzing protein, which gets activated when histamine binds to it, stimulating the activity of phospholipase C, which in turn hydrolyzes the phosphatidyl inositol 4,5 bisphosphonate, PIP2 for short, to form secondary messengers, namely diacylglycerol, DAG for short, which further potentiates the activity of protein kinase C. And secondly, inositol triphosphate, IP3 for short, that binds to IP3 receptors located on endoplasmic reticulum, resulting in increased calcium release to cytosol. As a result of increased calcium within the cytosol, that complexes with colmodulin, which ends up in blocking potassium channels, resulting in depolarization of the neuron that augments the neuronal excitability, leading to, ouch, a pain stimulus. Antihistamines work by blocking these receptors, thus blocking the pain stimulus. These antihistamines, primarily first generation, exhibits a severe drowsiness, which is contraindicated in active workers like drivers, pilots, and heavy machinery workers, and also in children and elderly patients of greater than 65 years old. Diphenhydramine is one such most sedative antihistamine, whereas chlorpheniramine is the least sedating one, thus preferred for use in daytime. To understand this adverse effects, let's have a glance of different histamine pathways within the brain. At our brain, tuberomammillary nucleus serves as the only neuronal source of histamine present within the hypothalamus, from where histaminergic neurons activates primarily prefrontal cortex, saying it, hey buddy, it's time up, wake up, and also acts by activating wake promoting neurons, that is, acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine neurons. The different pathways are acetylcholine, that is, from basal forebrain to prefrontal cortex, as well as reticular activating system. Secondly, dopamine from ventral tegmental area to prefrontal cortex. Next one, norepinephrine from locus coeruleus to prefrontal cortex and lateral hypothalamus. And lastly, serotonin from raphe nucleus to basal forebrain, lateral hypothalamus, and thalamus. Thus, by activating wake promoting neurons, histamine inhibits non-REM and REM sleep promoting neurons. Therefore, histamine plays an important role in disease associated with sleep wake state instability. Now, when a person is on antihistamines, particularly first generation antihistamines, feels highly drowsy because of lack of histamine activated wakefulness, with the promotion of REM and non REM sleep. On addition to that, his antihistamines blocks muscarinic, alpha-1 adrenergic, and serotonin receptors. That leads to number of side effects. For example, blockade of muscarinic receptors may cause dry mouth, blurred vision, and urinary retention. Whereas blockade of adrenergic receptors causes hypotension and reflex tachycardia. And lastly, blocking of serotonin receptors may cause increased appetite. On the positive side of blockade of central histamine and acetylcholine receptors seem to responsible for antiemetic and antinauseatic effect. Promethazine having maximum anticholinergic effect used for the treatment of motion sickness, vertigo, and chemotherapy induced nausea and vomiting. And with that, I wanted to thank you for watching. I hope you understood this video and stay tuned for more.